today we have a Hunkydory Christmas toppers. This is called Christmas is Coming, and these are quick to make, so that's why we have them ready for you. And Teresa's done some wonderful projects, including this one. Oh, gorgeous. So please come play with us. Well, as I said, there are 8 of these pieces, and each of them has 2 designs in it. So although there are 8 kits, 8 pieces here, I'll get this out, you can make 16 cards or even more. So you can see that this is called Christmas Joy. We've got owls and penguins, we have houses and doors, we have gingerbread. Now these 4 Teresa did not use. However, Santa, and she didn't use the deer. She did do the snowman, however, not the polar bear. She did the robin, however, not the Christmas tree. And she did the candles, however, not the presents. So just to kind of give you an opening of what's going on, that's what's happening. So let me start with the first card. And in all of them, she also used the Dazzle cards. And just to show you, this one is the poinsettia. And so these come just with the line art. They are ready for you to decorate as you wish. And let me just show you what Teresa's done. We'll get in nice and close. And this, as I said, is the topper set that she used. And with these, as you know, because it's Hunkydory, they are going to be foiled, so they're going to be beautiful. They are die cut, so you just pop them out. The idea is that the largest image is going to get glued flat onto your card. The other images we're going to get foam taped on top onto the matching artwork. Now, that is your choice. You can layer them if you like, or you can do something different. Now, in this case, Teresa has done something different. Now, that may not be a surprise to you, but let me just go through the instructions the way that Teresa did. To begin with, she has colored in the poinsettias, and the way that she did that is she started with a craft sheet. Now, I'm not going to actually do it, but I just kind of want to walk you through the process. So she took the craft sheet, and then she took the ink pads, and she used, let's see, there is khaki, and she used, well, let's see, let me just talk about you with khaki. So she took the khaki and she spritzed it, or just did it once onto the craft mat, just like so. And obviously this is going to go into the greenery. And she used the spritzer to dilute it, so just did it a couple of times. Now, Teresa used a product called the Teeny Tiny Daubers. Now, we did have these in stock. They sold out in a heartbeat. We have ordered more, but they're not going to be here until probably late January, maybe February. They are in the instructions. If you want them, go ahead and leave us your email address, and we will get them to you. But in the meantime, if you're going to do this process, you might want to use a paintbrush. So just mix this and then paint into the areas, and that's, you know, that will work perfectly. And this is a process that Teresa's used in many of these cards. Now, she did that with the khaki, with the green, and then she also used the cocoa bean, same process, to do the pine cones. So you can see the pine cones there. And she used the mustard to do the center of the poinsettias. And she used the letterbox red to do the poinsettias themselves, all with that same process, okay? So I'm going to set these aside, and I will set aside my craft mat right now. Okay, now can you see the spattering? We'll take care of that in just a moment because everything is going to get spattered. So then Teresa went into the gold cardstock, and there's 3 sheets that you get, and she cut the corners with the corner punch, and this is a neat tool from our friends at Crafter's Companion. And I've demonstrated this before, but I think it's just nice to know is that each of these little areas has a different corner cut. So this has a very tiny one. this has a larger, a larger one. So you just put it inside. And I think that's the one that Teresa used, as you can see. And then this side has another one. So you just push them in and just like that, no problem. And that's how you do it. So she did a piece, so you can see the instructions will tell you what size. The instructions, by the way, are down below. Just click on the card itself and you will see what the measurements are. Then she took not the biggest piece, but the second biggest piece. Now the biggest piece has that background, and she didn't want to do that because she wanted the gold to show. So she took the second biggest piece and put that down, and then went ahead and layered some of the other pieces with foam tape. And you can see how they're layered. Because our foam tape is not super thick, you're going to get a nice degree of definition without kind of making it too tall and making it too thick. So that's going to work nicely. Now, the piece for the inside is going to be saved to go right there. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Now, she also took the thin line dazzles, straight line dazzles, and she put them around the outside edge. Now, the straight line dazzles have thin ones and thick ones. She did the thin ones, and you can see it. They're just a little bit on the inside of the outside of the card. Got that? On the inside of the outside of the card, okay? And how pretty does that look? And it really reinforces the foiling here, the gold here, and the gold there. So that just really looks nice. Now we get to the spattering, and the spattering is done with the inks and with the glimmer mist. Now the glimmer mist is this, and you will want to put this on some scrap paper. I like to put scrap paper or newspaper in my kitchen sink, and I just place this and spritz, and that's all it takes. You are going to get some on the gold, you're going to get some on the topper itself. That's perfectly fine. It just looks really nice, and I love the look of it. Can we get in really close to see that? They're even closer. Is that possible? We're trying. There you go. It's just a really pretty look. There you go. And you can kind of see that, I think. Yeah, you can see it on the gold. Mm-hmm. Very pretty. Okay, now we're going to go to the inside. And what Teresa has done is she has used the Christmas Aglow paper, and you can see that she took one of the plaids, she matted it on the gold that she used on the front of her card, and placed it in the center. And then this is the piece that she saved, but she did save another piece. So again, you don't have to use them all on one image. And then she used our Merry Christmas dazzles. Now these are the 120 Merry Christmas dazzles in lots of colors. Red is showing here, but she used the gold ones, and just have them right there at the bottom. And how pretty is that? No spattering on the inside, just save that for the outside. But isn't that pretty? Okay, that is our first card. And let me just set this aside, and we'll go to our second card. And this, I think, is absolutely stunning, and I hope you agree. Now, with this one, Teresa used the Holly Dazzle-em cards. How pretty is that? And very stunning. Now, let me show you. Again, this is the topper set. And just like in the first card, she did not use the one that you would normally think of as the base. She went directly to the second one. You can tell it's the second one because it is the second largest, okay? Now, another thing that she did on this one is that she did the coloring, and this time she used the tri-blend markers. Now, she used these two. This is the dull green and the dark red, and you can tell why she used those two colors. Now, what we love about the tri-blend markers is that you get 3 shades of the color in every single marker, and that works perfectly with especially the greens. You can see there's a darker and a lighter as they're colored in. Yes, and you did see some spattering going on. That's going to work nicely. Now, let's go back to the card itself. So what she has done is she has colored those in using the markers, and that's going to work nicely. And then she is going to do some spattering. Now, in her directions, Teresa talked about using an old toothbrush, but you can also use this spatter brush. This is an item that Tim Holtz created, and it is designed to do for spattering, hence the name, a spatter brush. And all you'll do is just exactly what I showed you earlier with the ink pads, is you're going to, let's see, Teresa used for this, let me just pull it out. She used the letterbox, the khaki. Okay, so the letterbox and the khaki. You would do them separately, not together. And so you're going to do exactly the same thing. In fact, I still have some right there. So let me just mist this again. And I'm going to dip this brush in here to it, and you just do it with your finger over it, and it's just going to spatter. Now, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this because it is just a light spattering. And there you go. I think you can see it. Hopefully you can see it. It's really there. So that's exactly what you're going to do. And it's just going to give you a light spattering, which is exactly what Teresa has done. So let me get this out of the way. So you're going to go through first and do the khaki, and then you'll go back and do the letterpress red. And isn't that pretty? It just creates such a beautiful look. Now, after doing the spattering, so you've done the khaki, you've done the letterbox red, you will also want to go back and do the glimmer mist, because that's going to give you another gold over all of it, and that's just really going to finish it off. And as I said, she did the second layer, and then she did some other pieces just to build it up. And as you can see, it's just a beautiful look. Now, the Holly Jolly that's right there, that came out of the Christmas greetings dazzles, and you can see that it has the greetings in a script, as you can see, also in the tiny words and phrases, so in many different colors, by the way, so you can see that. Now, I've got a wonderful surprise for the inside, and I think this is just gorgeous, and I haven't seen it done before. That same spattering is done all over the inside of the card. And she took that first layer, remember we didn't use it, foam taped it inside, added another of the dazzles, and just finished that card. The other thing that it does is if any of that spattering happened to bleed through, well, you can't tell because you spattered the inside. This is actually a very fast card to make, and I think it is drop dead gorgeous, and I hope you agree. Okay, we are going to move on. Now, this is the card that I showed you in the very beginning, and this card is using the snowmen, obviously, and the snowmen are part of this sheet. Again, we're not doing the polar bears, but that is, you know, that's another of the 16 designs you have. Now, this is created onto this. This is the Snowflakes Dazzlem cards. The reason why Teresa used these is because it gives you a base that you can customize to coordinate with any of the toppers that Hunkydory has provided us. Now, she did something different on this, and that is that she colored the whole piece. So she took her craft mat, as you would expect, and she simply started, well, she's got two of the ink pads. So you can see the Prussian blue and the blueberry, two shades of the blue. And she started with the Prussian blue on the outside of her card and simply just started inking that on the outside. And then she took the blueberry and used her blending brush and inked it on the center, and then kind of brought them together in the middle. And so then she created this, but then she spritzed it with the water, and you can see how those water droplets just separated the inks. And doesn't that create a pretty look? It almost looks like snowflakes happening on top of it. Now, she did need to dry it, so she put a heavy book on top of it, and that way she let it dry, okay? Now, then she went back to create her 3D piece on top of this. And you can see with the foam tape what a nice job that did. Now in this case, she did just use the pieces as she wanted to. She did use one of the circle pieces and put it up there. Now for the snowflakes to really shine, she added snowflake dazzles. Well, of course she did. And she just put them over the artwork. And let me bring that back so you can see it in black and white. So she simply just placed it over any of the artwork that she wanted to, just to give more of that shine to, again, to just make that snowflakes do its job. Okay, now on the inside of her card, let me do this. Okay, so she took the snowflakes and snowfolks. This is the 6x6 product. And she cut out 2 of the pieces to fit on the inside. And as you can see, they just do a nice job of filling that space. This is part of the cutouts from that same package. She used more of the snowflakes, and it just finishes off the card. It also has the added advantage that with all of this heavy inking, that if any of that would have bled through, it's going to cover it up. Now, you always could have taken a piece of white cardstock and placed that on the back of the card front. That's always an option. But in this case, the pattern cardstock did a very nice job. And again, that's pretty fast to do. So that's always nice at this time of year. Okay, I have one more project for you. And this is Santa coming to visit. And here he is. Now, obviously, this is using, here we go, Santa right there. And Teresa wanted to do something different. So she has brought in the holly green, as well as the red and the cocoa bean to color these. Again, she did use these teeny tiny daubers, which, we'll have, as winter is coming to an end, but that just worked. Then she also used this. This is the Citrus Tri-Blend marker, and she used that for these swirls. So that worked nicely. Now, this is from the Topper collection, but that arch is going to be die cut, of course, with our arches. Now, you're going to just place this and position it in the opening where it's going to just fit within the artwork. Now, the cards are 5 by 6.5 inches, so you can place your cutting die and then simply fold this back and run it through your die cutting machine, because that's 5 inches. It'll go through your Big Shot, your Gemini. If you have the Big Shot Plus or the Gemini Junior, you can run it through this way because that's 6.5 inches. So you can use any machine you have, which it makes it perfect, don't you think? So that finishes your card front. Now, to go to the card inside, Teresa used the Joyful Christmas 6x6. So she has her plaid. You can actually see it's the one that she used right here. And she matted it on red. And this is the red from Sparkling Season. Works quite nicely. But she did kind of give a landing for Santa to stand on. And that too comes from the Joyful Christmas and the Sparkling Season. So you can see that he has a place to stand on. He has footing, so to speak. And you can see how Santa has just been placed there. He's been foam taped together, just matching everything. And this little piece is part of the topper. Here it is, Believe in the Magic of Christmas. And that gets hidden as the card is closed, which is very nice because it becomes a surprise as it opens up. And of course, he's going to be secured in place so that he really fits into that arch. Works very, very nicely. So there you have it. You have just 4 of the 16 cards or more that you could make using all of these. And you've got lots of different projects that you could make using these. And I think I've got almost everything back to show you. Let's see, yes, okay. So the 4 sets that Teresa used are right there. And then the 4 more that you can also use. And there is a money saver. As you know, it's going to be on the right side of our screen. I think Teresa's done a wonderful job, and we wanted to have you have something that would be quick to do as we're getting closer to the Christmas season. And I think she's given us some wonderful and very fun ideas that you can use, I think, year-round even. Okay, if you are watching us on YouTube, we hope that you will like us, that you will subscribe, and that you will head on over to paperwishes.com, take advantage of that money saver. Teresa writes instructions for all of her projects. They are just down below. Just click on the card and you'll see the instructions on the right side of your screen. And as I said, there is the money saver. We have put all of these, because they're sold as one unit, and then we've put together all of the Dazzle cards that Teresa used as part of the money saver. So that's an added bonus, just to make that super easy for everyone. And I want to thank you for joining us. I want to thank Teresa for her wonderful creativity. And most of all, thanking you for being part of our Paper Wishes family. We'll see you next time.